All right, Kanza, happy Friday. It is Miss Grace, and like I said earlier this week, we are going to go ahead and finish reading Mr. Putter and Tabby Catch the Cold. So we are on chapter 3, which is titled Zeke, which sounds like it's Mrs. T-Berry's dog who's going to come help them out. So 20 minutes later, there was a scratching at the door. It was Mrs. T-Berry's good dog, Zeke. He had a thermos strapped to his back, and he was wagging his tail. "Thank you, Zeke," said Mr. Putter, patting Zeke's head. Zeke wagged and went home. Mr. Putter and Tabby looked inside the thermos. "Chicken soup," said Mr. Putter. "Hooray!" Tabby purred. She loved chicken soup. Mr. Putter and Tabby were having their soup when there was another scratching at the door. It was Zeke again. He had another thermos strapped to his back. "Thank you, Zeke," said Mr. Putter. Zeke wagged and went home. Mr. Putter and Tabby looked inside the thermos. "Peppermint tea with honey," said Mr. Putter. "Yippee!" Tabby purred. She loved honey. Mr. Putter and Tabby ate their soup and drank their tea. Mr. Putter was feeling much better, but he wished he had one more thing. He felt so selfish, but he couldn't help it, so he phoned Mrs. T-Berry. "Mrs. T-Berry, the soup and the tea are wonderful," he said. "Wonderful," said Mrs. T-Berry. "But," said Mr. Putter. "But?" asked Mrs. T-Berry. "Would you perhaps have," asked Mr. Putter. "Would I perhaps have," said Mrs. T-Berry. "An adventure book?" said Mr. Putter. "Of course," said Mrs. T-Berry. "You do?" "Yes, I do," said Mrs. T-Berry. "But the book really belongs to Zeke." "Zeke?" asked Mr. Putter. "It's about a brave dog," said Mrs. T-Berry. "It's Zeke's favorite." Said Mr. Putter, "do you think he would loan it to me?" "Only if he gets to come along," said Mrs. T-Berry. "Zeke is very attached to his book." Mr. Putter thought about it. The adventure book came with Zeke attached. Could he manage Zeke and a cold? Would Zeke be good, or would he be Zeke? Mr. Putter was desperate. "Of course Zeke may come with his book," said Mr. Putter. "Wonderful," said Mrs. T-Berry. A few minutes later, there was a scratching at the door. Chapter 4, The Best Cold. It was surprising. It was amazing. Zeke was good. Zeke was fine. Zeke was perfect. As long as you were reading his adventure book to him. Mr. Putter and Tabby and Zeke curled up in Mr. Putter's bed and read all day long. Mr. Putter sounded a little funny with his stuffy nose, but Zeke and Tabby didn't mind. They wanted to hear about the brave dog. Mr. Putter read and read while Tabby purred and Zeke wagged. And when the brave dog's story was over, they all snuggled up and went to sleep, full of soup and tea and adventure. It was one of the best colds Mr. Putter ever caught. And the end. There's Tabby laying with the book. All right, pre-K, I hope to see all of you very, very soon, and we will make sure to read more books next week when we are all back in class together, and I can't wait to see you guys. Bye.